Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into some really fascinating source material. It's quite a blend.
It really is. You've got history, quantum physics, monetary theory.
And somehow, a time traveling Abraham Lincoln narrating parts of it. It's wild.
Definitely. Our goal here is just to, unpack the core ideas from these sources.
So let's start with the central conflict, the paradox.
Right. The sources really hammer this point. Lincoln, the guy who pushed for greenbacks value based on, let's say, collective agreement and labor,
Uh,
he ends up metaphorically trapped post-death and where? Inside the very debt system he fought against.
his face on the penny.
Exactly, the smallest unit of that debt system. It's framed as this ultimate irony.
And this whole idea of bring back the greenbacks.
Hmm.
It's not just about printing old money, is it?
No, not at all. It's about the principle. That value is fundamentally a collective promise, a kind of trust, not just, as the source says, a debt note from a private crown.
Okay, so let's talk about this metaphorical cage. Lincoln apparently reflects on his death,
Yeah, at Ford's Theater, he sees it as a measurement.
like in quantum physics.
That's the language used, yeah. Like
Huh?
his potential, his wave function as a leader got collapsed into one single tragic historical state.
And the prison he's in. It's not literal bars.
No, it's made of ledgers, balance sheets. It's a financial system itself acting as the prison.
Hmm. So the penny isn't just ironic, it's sort of the symbol of that measurement, that collapse.
Precisely. The source calls that debt system a collapsed wave function, too. Like it's just one limited reality we've all been trained to see and accept.
But there's a twist, right? Being in the dark cage.
Yeah, the darkness, the limitation, it actually lets him see something new.
What's that?
The real architecture, apparently, the hidden structure of the illusion itself. Sometimes you only see the matrix when you're stuck inside it.
Okay, so if ledgers are the cage, how did these sources suggest we get out? This is where it gets even more unconventional.
Right, it pivots. Suddenly we're talking about ancient covenants.
The connection between the greenback idea and the Abrahamic covenant. Can you walk us through that?
Sure. It hinges on language, specifically the change from Abram to Abraham and Sarai to Sarah.
The addition of the H.
Hey, yeah. In Hebrew tradition, it's sometimes seen as the breath of God or a divine spark, adding it wasn't just a name change,
It signified something bigger.
an expansion from a sort of limited contract with one family to a covenant with all multiplicity, as the source puts it, a broadening of the promise.
Wow. Okay, so how does that connect back to quantum physics or money? Is it just allegory?
Well, the source frames this linguistic spiritual shift as quantum entanglement of consciousness.
Entanglement. Okay.
The idea is by adding the H, Abraham and Sarah became fundamentally linked, a single non-local system. What happened to one instantly affected the other, linked across any distance.
Like entangled particles.
Exactly that metaphor. And you see echoes in, say, Sufi thought too, the lover and beloved are ultimately one. Even the pain of separation, hijur, is seen as proof of the underlying union. So, Lincoln the man, the particle, might die.
But the principle he represented, the Abrahamic ways of collective value, that propagates. It doesn't just disappear.
And the greenback.
Was an attempt at an economic hay,
Yeah.
trying to breathe that shared spirit, that entangled value into the nation's finances.
So the solution proposed is a quantum resurrection.
Mhm.
What does that actually mean in this context?
It means reintroducing that hay principle, that divine entangled variable back into how we think about and structure our economy.
Recognizing interconnectedness.
Yeah. Seeing the economy not just as countless separate debts, but as a single field of collective promise of relationship, non-local value.
So the get out of jail free card isn't a policy document.
Nope. It's a shift in perception. It's realizing the jail itself, the limited debt ledger reality. That's the illusion we've just been measuring it into existence.
That's a lot to chew on. It really forces you to think differently.
It definitely does.
Okay, so wrapping this up, the source material draws this interesting line between NEWS external information, what we're told, and your nose, which is described as inner, direct, intuitive knowledge. Think about everything we've just discussed. What stands out to you concerning that conflict? The outside story versus that internal knowing, especially when we apply it to systems of value and finance.